We've sold our house! Woo!
In a week. We sold it in a week. So, in our last video, we talked about that we'd put the house on the market and some of the reasons why we're doing that, and talked a little bit about our next steps. But obviously now that we've sold the house, we need to start thinking about actually what are some of those next steps going to be. We've probably got about 3 or 4 months maybe for the house sale to go through. And the thing is, there's no blueprint, there's no guidebook, this isn't a traditional pathway, so we're kind of having to find our own way through that and work out what we're going to do. And so, like, yeah, there isn't a right way, there must be other ways of doing it. This is how we're doing it, and this is what we've done.
And so, to give you an idea, we basically shortlisted what we made a list of what things we wanted to do with our life. Van life, communal living or intentional living, working with renovation or like with accommodation provided, possibly. House flipping is another option, which we'll talk about more in a minute. Having land, so that might be buying land, it might be renting land, it might be custodians of land on behalf of someone. House sitting, so there's lots of people who go away, well, there's not lots of people, there are people who go away for long periods of time and need someone to look after their house rather than leaving it empty, so that's an option.
Yeah, and I think more longer term house sitting rather than house sitting for a week at a time.
Yeah, I'd agree. There's a thing called WWOOFs or WWOOFs, which is basically where you go and work on the land and you get accommodation and food and stuff like that covered for you. And I guess lowest in the option, because it isn't that practical at the moment, is living abroad. Basically worked it down to 3 kind of main ones, and that's van life, communal or intentional living, and probably house flipping.
And so as part of that process, what we've done is we've created a list of the communal living and co-housing projects within the proximity of where we live. Well, so the southwest really, so all the way down to Cornwall and across to South Wales, kind of with Bristol central. And so we've created this list and we're reaching out to these communities. Some of them have got a formal application process, some of them are a bit more casual, and we're going to be going and visiting some of these spaces to see how they are, see if they're a fit, to work out whether that's right for us. And that will be some of our future videos where we explore some different intentional living communities.
Yeah, because there's lots of different setups. There's some where you have your own co-housing space, so to speak. There's some where you literally live in community. There's some where you live more land-based. There's purchasing options, rental options. There's lots of different options, and that's what we want to explore.
Yeah, and see what's going to be the right fit.
So the benefit of house flipping is we'd have somewhere to live, and we'd invest the money that we get out of our house straight back into a property and hopefully make more money.
Yeah, I'm guessing one of the downsides of that at the moment is the house market's a bit flat.
Yeah, so we might not make much money if we flipped, and also obviously it feels like it's still part of the system really. We're still having a mortgage, still buying property, and it's not really what we want to do. But besides that anyway, I've registered on a lot of house selling websites and auction websites and stuff like that to kind of just track what's going on out there.
So another option on our list to explore is van life and owning a van, and that could actually happen with co-housing or intentional living as well, like have a van and living intentional living. So we've got this van, Star, our VWT4 transporter, but she's not as great as she is, and we love her. She's not great for living, and it's a rock and roll bed which takes up a lot of space and you can't stand. So fab for weekend trips, but not fab for longer than that. Sorry, Star. So we have been exploring bigger van options like long wheelbase, high top, things like Sprinters, things like is it Varios, Mercedes Varios, I think. Yeah, just bigger van options, Lutons, that kind of thing. What other vans are there, and is it you buy one already converted, or do we buy like a base shell of a van and then we convert it ourselves? So the thing with a bigger van, like a 7.5 ton, is Lee doesn't have a licence to drive that. I've got grandfather rights, as it's called, because I got my licence ages ago because I'm old. So that's a consideration, is like Lee, because Lee would probably do most of the driving, he'd have to do a test. So that's
Yeah, and it's almost the best price I can find is about £1,000 to do a test, and it takes about a week. So not only can I not work for a week, I also need to find £1,000 to do the test. Yeah, I think you've said that, like in summary, that do we buy a converted van or do we buy a van that we convert? Pros and cons to that, and yeah, size. And what would be lovely is to have a van with a bed that's already made that you can just go and crash in it. Also has a toilet and a shower, also has a dining space and a kitchen space, so it needs to be a fair size and well thought of.
Yeah, livable each day. I don't want to be pulling out of bed every day, and I think it would make a hell of a difference to have a toilet space as well.
Yeah.
And shower. Usually if it comes with a toilet space, it comes with a shower as well, so it just would make living easier because we're getting older.
We need our luxuries.